Hello, and welcome to my bookshelf. I completely redid it to add a whole new 100 Acre Wood and Toy Story section. But I figured since I received probably the coolest gift I've ever had, like, ever, and I'm still reading through this, I should go through and talk about some of my favorite books that I have from my Disney collection, since you can see I have quite a few. And not everything here is Disney, but the majority is, and there's some amazing books that I really have not seen talked about online. So what I decided is I want to go through and just kind of talk about a few different books each week, thanks to my friend inspiring me. So this week I want to talk about Disney's Art of Animation, from Mickey Mouse to Hercules. Now, this is the Disney Art of Animation book. It is not the Art of Animation Resort, but you can kind of see, it's hard to show on camera, how Mickey is moving his hand in an animated way. So it goes from Mickey Mouse to Hercules, because I'm guessing this book came out in, I was going to say 98, but 97. Makes sense. So as you see, you can see all the different Disney characters they have there. And let's open this up. So you have Mickey Mouse on the front, Hercules in the background, which Hercules is beautifully drawn. Now, there's a lot of things here. Obviously, I'm not going to go into huge detail. However, you can see it covers so many chapters, including how Mickey was born, what happened when Walt, unfortunately, went away, and a new tradition, the Renaissance era. So it does talk about the different changes in time, along with Hercules being the most recent movie when this came out. So they have about 60 pages just dedicated to Hercules, which is crazy considering Hercules, unfortunately, does not get the popularity he deserves. So it's the history of new art. So chapter 1, A Mouse is Born, talks about how Mickey Mouse first came to be, and talking about the people who drew Mickey Mouse and animated him the first time to begin with, along with the entire story of Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. Now I could show you different sketches of Oswald and how it somewhat compares to how they animated Mickey with somewhat similar face structures, and why he was designed certain ways that he was. Now, of course, there's a whole entire history on Oswald, but essentially they lost the rights to Oswald, so Walt had to create a new character. Happened with a suitcase and a dream, as the song goes. And then it goes through his history, the very humble beginnings of Mickey Mouse. Whoa, okay, I need to blur that side. We have things that I will get flagged on YouTube for. I was not expecting that in a book like this, so that's weird. Anyway, then Disney before Mickey Mouse, talking about laughograms. So this is nice too, because it does pay tribute to what Walt had to do, even with the live action Alice actress that wasn't very behaving. Just everything that went on for Walt to even get to the point where he could create Disney and then could create silly symphonies. I'm assuming this is another chapter. Yep, preparing for greatness. Oh, there we go. The 3 wolves. Instead of 3 little pigs, the 3 little wolves. But just the amount of detail they have on every single page. This book is one, if you are a collector, I mean, I don't know what to say. This is just a beautiful book. It tells you all the different shading techniques and how they decided to have like certain characters have bigger roles at certain parts. I mean, look at that, just everything. And talking about the animators even going to school. What happened there? Then we get to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which of course was Walt Disney's first full-length feature animated movie. When people said don't go to the movies because if you watch something that's cartooned and animated you will go insane. Needless to say, people realized, wait, no, that's just other movie theaters trying to scare us. Imagine the world where Snow White didn't exist and you didn't get all this entire cinematic beauty of having a live audience and like having things come to life in animated forms that were long, colored, with music. Amazing. Chapter 6, Expansion and War, and you got Jiminy Cricket to be your conscience. So here you can see some different scenes, which I will say, This still scares me, even as an adult. Pinocchio, there are some quite scary scenes in there that... Pleasure Island's spooky. So it talks about the different movies, such as Fantasia, the level of details into drawing it, including the little mushroom dancers. Those are so cute. But just imagine if you had to draw one of these, how long it might take you to do one. And then you have to consider they have to do so many. I mean, even look at Thumper, a very early version of Thumper. Look how cute he is. And there's just so many details that gotta go into this. But that's the amazing part is Disney. Part of the reason I love Disney is the animation. And then you have the post-war films. So you have like Lady and the Tramp, Alice. Look at that. Even trying to recreate Sleeping Beauty to try to show what they were exactly looking for in the animated drawings. And Lady and the Tramp, still such cute animation. You can't help but want a dog after watching Lady running around. And then, sadly, Walt Disney's last films, which, of course, rest in peace. So, yeah. Jungle Book released in 1967, a year after Walt Disney died, and it did amazing. So then, sadly, the industry had to move on without him, and it's kind of funny they show Rodger Rabbit. That was quite a bit later. Yeah, they had to carry on the tradition with the remaining members of the 9 Old Men and the newcomers. Now, of course, a lot of people did say the animation is very similar to Jungle Book early on, but they slowly kept adapting. Black Cauldron, it's honestly surprising to have an entire section in here, considering it was not exactly, did not end well. Everyone's favorite person from the internet. And Rodger Rabbit. Who Framed Rodger Rabbit? So good. But then they showed, look, once Little Mermaid came out, that's when it turned everything around. That's when things started becoming a new tradition. And we got Beauty and the Beast here. Look at that. Talking about Roy Disney being the vice chairman. The new animation studio with the sorcerer's cap illuminated. Just such a beautiful movie. Animation's insane. Love Beauty and the Beast. Such a good one. Also, it's kind of creepy that we're seeing Beast's kind of inside tail and everything, because you kind of do forget Beast has a tail at certain points in the movie. He just becomes the Beast. Aladdin, one of my favorites. Jasmine. And even look at that, all the different sketches to try to make Robin Williams really look like the genie and vice versa. Did such a good job, rest in peace. Nightmare Before Christmas, talking about how it's a new innovation, which of course they used a lot of different type of puppetoons and claymation to make it happen, so it's a bunch of puppeteering. Blockbuster, Lion King, nobody can forget that. Oh, that scene. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Well, that's sad. Then we got Pocahontas here. Colors of the Wind, her and John Smith. Oh, even this scene. Very dark, but powerful. And then talking about the new era with Toy Story, where it's different than the normal animation they were used to. Oh, one of my favorites. I love Toy Story. That is still my favorite movie, that and Toy Story 2. Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then they ended off with talking about bringing Hercules to the screen, because that came out. And just the animation style of Hercules is something that I think is overlooked. It is very beautiful. The way they drew everything, it's so good. The singers, everything. The music is really good too. Hercules is one that most people don't talk about when they say their favorites, but I can't help but love Hercules when I watch it, not necessarily because it's the best plot or anything, but it's just very inspirational, and it's a good message. And yeah, there's an early version of Meg. I mean, just look at the details in the storyboarding. Absolutely amazing. The amount of work that goes into this is insane. And even all the different details in editing, how that worked, the comparison before and after. I mean, the amount of work they had to put in to make one movie. It's impeccable. And that's just, this is the animation part. Look at that. The souvenir cup that he sips out of. Love that. Herc and Meg. They're such a cute couple. I really do love that. Ooh, Pegasus. The Hydra. All the people that had to work on that. Just look at the level of detail, even just in putting all the different things in the neck. Olympus. Still one of the most beautiful places I think they've drawn in any Disney movie. I mean, it's all clouds, but it has a life of its own. And the Muses. Yeah. Tells you about how proud they were about that. All the different animation terms, such as sequence, like what's a sequence director, what's staging. And then also gives you indexing. So if you want to look up someone's name, like let's say Mark Henn, he's on page 133, 134, 143. So this is a really good book. Quite frankly, if this is still available somewhere and you can get it, go for it. This one shows that it was originally $45 when it came out in 1997. This is one of those books where I would not be surprised if it's actually worth more than $45. Just because the level of detail that they have in this is crazy. I mean, it's such a beautiful book to look at. While I'm more of a theme park person, I still love this. And I just absolutely love the level of detail they show and the care that it really took for Mickey to come to existence and for Walt to put this all together. Because who knows where anything as far as movies go would be without Disney, especially when it comes to animated. It's one thing to just say, well, you know, Disney would have had someone else make it down the line. We don't know that. Walt took a lot of steps that not many other people were willing to take. Without Walt, who knows what would have happened? Without Mickey, there might not be animation as we know it today. It might just be short little videos that were never put into this perspective. Hopefully, there's some books in your lives that you can read that just spark joy and spark just unique imagination. And if you want to look at either of those two, or you have a specific page you want me to take a picture of, let me know and I'll post it in the comments. And eventually, once I finish reading this thoroughly, because I like to really just read and dive into Disney history books for the parks, I'm going to have a video on this on its own. But for now, thank you for watching the first Thursday video series of different Disney books. Have a great day. May God bless you all. And remember to keep on reading and keep on smiling, more importantly. So long.